Welcome back. Well, before we left for the break, I promised you an exciting story on E. coli outbreak. And as promised, here we are to deliver. And I know that I kind of make light about it, but I mean, you kind of have to because it's such a sad story. You know, there's contaminated vegetables and meats and, you know, food that people are consuming over in Germany. It's making people really sick.
Yeah, it's a huge thing in the news, European outbreak on the food and the poisoning.
Yeah. So maybe the last time you got food poisoning, you know, you went to a restaurant and you were sick the next day, you may have been contaminated with one of these. Yeah. But here's our list of 10, and we're going to start with poultry that has been contaminated with Campylobacter. Okay.
Very interesting. I think you should get into details because when it comes to this, I am completely lost.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, here, according to the report, this dangerous combination of bacteria-laced meat sickens more than 600,000 Americans, resulting in nearly 7,000 hospitalizations every single year.
Wow.
In the report, the researchers question whether new safety standards announced by the USDA for young chickens and turkeys are sufficient and recommend evaluating and tightening these standards over time. Now that kind of makes sense when you stop and you think about the chickens. There's, you know, in the news all the time they talk about how the chickens are in cages that are too small for them and they need more space and it's unhealthy conditions. So, I mean, it's definitely something that you want to look out for, you know, make sure that, you know, you're getting...
And we definitely want you guys to eat, but we want you to... we want you, because we're always talking about food here, so...
I know.
But we want to make sure you know safety precautions for these bacteria, so it's a good thing we're bringing out this list and talking about it.
Absolutely, and we're going to go one by one down this list of 10, and then at the end we're going to give you some tips on how you can kind of avoid the contamination and keep yourself healthy. And number 2 on our list is toxoplasma in pork. Now what is that? Toxoplasmosis is considered to be a leading cause of death attributed to foodborne illness in the United States. More than 60 million men, women, and children in the U.S. carry the Toxoplasma parasite, but very few have symptoms because the immune system usually keeps this parasite from causing illness.
Wow.
It's disgusting.
See, that's why we're going through this. We need to know all this. This is important.
That's gross. The next on our list we have is Listeria in deli meats.
Oh, deli meat, see?
And there's a reason why they tell pregnant women not to eat deli meat. It's because Listeria causes nearly 600 hospitalizations every year and more than 100 deaths. Those most at risk are pregnant women, and it also affects older adults and adults with weakened immune systems, like most sicknesses.
Yeah.
So if you're an older adult or, you know, pregnant or nursing, or if you have a weak immune system, obviously these are some things you want to avoid.
Yeah, definitely. Now, number 4, 6, 8, and 10, salmonella in poultry, produce, complex foods, and eggs. We were talking about eggs, there you go.
Right.
So according to the report, poultry causes more foodborne disease than any other type of food, and salmonella is one of the reasons it's the leading foodborne pathogen in the country, causing the largest number of deaths and hospitalizations. So this combo cost us $700 million a year. In produce, alpha sprouts and tomatoes. We talked about the sprouts. There you go. Now, salmonella is multi-ingredient foods, like it's in the multi-ingredient foods like Caesar salad. And who can forget about the salmonella outbreak of 2010 linked to the Iowa farms? And that's talking about that it sickened more than 1,000 people and resulted in the recall of 500 million eggs.
Right. Those are the eggs from last year that were recalled.
That was last year, the big recall. Yep. And again, salmonella is one of the biggest bacteria that causes these deaths too.
Okay, and then what else do we have? What's the next one?
And then the next one is Listeria on dairy products. So rounding out the top 5, Listeria infecting dairy products such as soft cheeses. Wow. So it's common in soft cheeses, so you have to definitely be careful when you eat cheese with these bacteria.
Oh my gosh.
This also costs a lot, about $700 million a year. And number 7, the norovirus in complex food. Now, this is a huge outbreak that's very common in the cruise ships. So this is the one you hear when the cruise ships. So the norovirus, which it's largely associated with multi-ingredient items that become infected when handled by service industry workers. So,
Okay, and then the last one on our list is the toxoplasma in beef. We talked about toxoplasma before, and again, this is just in beef. People who are prone to being sick, pregnant women should avoid these. And then we also have a list of ways that we can avoid getting sick. And if you guys stay tuned, we're gonna go over that when we come right back after this break.